So we have another story in the same vein as the Sherlock topic. Now, she didn't provide us any pictures of any walls that she went off and admired, but she did show us some eggs that she created that look kind of like reptile eggs. And I thought that that was interesting. And this is the picture that I want to start us with. This story starts out about a week ago. This is Holly. Holly says, I think I just pulled a Sherlock without even knowing. Typically, we have a big Halloween party every year. The last time we threw it, there were 120 people invited and about 80 people showed up. We have a good-sized property, not a huge house, but the property works for that many people. Anyhow, last year I hard passed because it's a massive lift for me. I do all the food, make sure we have what everyone drinks, themed cocktails, decorations, smoke machines, dry ice, skulls in the fire pit, etc. Everyone loves it, and I'm mopping the floors at 4 a.m. So I've decided if we can't have it fully catered, I'm not doing it anymore. But everyone is wondering when it's happening, etc. Side story, but important to this. We have a small group, 3 couples, that does happy hour on Fridays, and we rotate homes. We can always make it to happy hour, but we can't host on Fridays. The host does the main food. Everyone brings an appetizer and what they want to drink. Easy. 2 weeks ago, I suggest, since we haven't hosted the happy hour and we aren't having the big party, that we can have a Halloween happy hour on Saturday. Everyone dress up, bring what you want to drink. I even said I'd do the appetizer in addition to the main. It's October in Maryland, so the perfect weather for a fire pit, etc. I limited to 20-ish people. Yesterday, husband asked what I'm planning on for food, and I say I'm going to do chili and cornbread as main. He goes, that's not a main. I go, people love chili. It's easy. It works with the weather. It's easy to clean up, etc. He responds with, I just think it's a bad idea. So without even thinking, I respond, great. You do the food. Silence. He says, well, me? Nope. Food is on you. So right now, I don't have any idea what we're having, but, and then she does this emoji with the hands up. So that is the beginning of this chili drama. All right, now Travel Cat Lorna, she threw in a comment. She says, I used to throw a big holiday party every year, invited friends, neighbors, and clients. It was a lot, even though it was catered. One year, I was over the top exhausted from cleaning, decorating, preparing for 80 people. A neighbor mentioned how much she enjoyed the party. I responded that it was a lot of work, not to mention expensive, and I wasn't sure I could do it again. Her response, oh, but you have to. It's expected. She says, yes, that was my last holiday party. Because why the heck are you expected to do something? Are you going to give some money? People want things, but they don't want to shell out any cash for it. All right, let's keep it moving with this chili drama, though. Chili update. Thank you for the vindication that chili and cornbread is indeed a main. Anywho, we stopped by a friend's house last night and she asked what she could bring. In our group, we have the name of the food lady. The assumption is that regardless of the time of the year or the event, you bring that food. You don't need to ask or be asked. For instance, I'm the deviled eggs lady. Pool party, I'm bringing eggs. Football tailgate, I'm bringing eggs. Sitting Shiva, I got your eggs. She is the buffalo chicken dip lady. So for some reason, but a perfect layup, she says to me, what should I bring? I respond with, I don't know, ask him, and point to husband. He says, I said chili wasn't a main, and now I'm doing the food. Please bring that thing you always make. I just looked at her and sipped my wine. Her deadpan response, so we will be eating chicken dip, eggs, chocolate chip cookies, and a charcuterie board. Her husband thinks he's going to jump in for support and says to mine, we got this. So I'm looking forward to eggs, chicken dip, chocolate chip cookies, and a charcuterie board around the fire pit. This person, Kay, says, he might surprise you and grill burgers. He might surprise you and have some pizza delivered. Nomadic Sugar says, actually, it sounds like a great idea to start. Alternating partners to worry about food along with alternating homes. Maybe start the men off in pairs for emotional support. Wise Behind says chili and cornbread is 100% a main and a side and sounds absolutely perfect. I would love to eat that, but I would also be perfectly fine eating only chicken dip, eggs, cookies, and charcuterie too. So I don't know if my opinion is worth anything. She says, I got my first request for help. He calls me to see how my day is going. This is not unusual, so it's not like he's trying to be nice. And in the conversation, he says he's going to need a head count. Me, you're on the text invite because this group is informal. Him, yes, but you only invited one of each couple. Yep, sure did. With this group, you put a bunch of men on a party text and all of a sudden it turns into the Theta Chi Party Planning Committee. She says, me, correct. They all know partners are included, and just in case I mentioned it. So double the names on the invite, and if there are singles, also double. And this is stupid. You know who is invited. Use your math. Him. Are there allergies? Me. None of them are allergic to chili and cornbread, but I'm just the deviled egg lady, so what do I know? Patty Cat just does the little clap emoji. All right, so that was 6 days ago. We're on 5 days ago now. She says, this morning I caught him standing in the pantry, gazing into the corner where we keep the picnic stuff, paper plates, etc. I think he's ordering in. This was probably my admire the walls moment, but I hadn't had coffee yet, so I couldn't think that fast. Taz says, oh, is it going to be one of those really long submarine sandwiches? That's my guess. She just laughs. Still 5 days ago. She says, chili update. So I really do have the best girlfriends. They just know without knowing. Tonight we ran out for dinner to our local spot where statistically we will run into someone we know. Friends who are on the guest list for Saturday do eventually wander in. She is the grocery store lady, meaning if we forgot it or need it at the last minute, she's the one who gets it. Mustard, veggies, toilet paper, whatever. She also doesn't cook, so we aren't delusional she's going to make something. She says, she sits down next to me and says, we are looking forward to Saturday. What are you making? It's going to be perfect for something like chili. Hand to God, I jerk my thumb towards my husband and say, he's cooking. Him. I said chili wasn't a main, and now I have to do the main. Her husband says, oh, you never learn, do you? At least he was smart enough not to grunt, we got this. Her, does he know he needs plates? Me, he was looking in the direction of plates this morning. Her, do we have bowls? Me, for what? Her, chili. I'm not making chili at all. Not as a main, not as a side, not as a garnish. Her, what? Oh, you are still making the eggs then, right? Chili update. We're at 4 days ago. She says 2 things. 1, I do all the grocery shopping because I cook. Also note, he does clean up every single time I cook, so he's really not that bad most days. Back to grocery shopping. I needed to order a few things today, so in a fantastically passive-aggressive moment, I asked if he needs anything. Nope. He says he doesn't need a thing, nada. So I'm 90% sure now he's ordering something that comes with plates, cutlery, etc. because he stood in the pantry long enough staring at the picnic corner to know that we do not have enough plates for everyone. There's also a possibility that he hasn't realized that and he will need to use the actual daily plates for this culinary event. So I let it go because it's not my problem. And again, I miss my admire the walls moment. On to 2. I hope you're sitting down or with a cocktail in hand because I got a crock pot of irony for you. The grocery store lady calls. Grocery store lady, are you busy? Me? Well, I have a dog covered in dead animal hiding under the bed who snuck past me while I was headed outside to pick up the skeleton that blew off a pillar onto the middle of the driveway, and the Amazon truck is on its way. Not to mention, I'm getting panic slacks from a team member who needs me to negotiate a contract, but for you, I have 5. This is typical of my day. Grocery store lady, didn't you have a tailgate party last fall for Buffalo Chicken Lady because her son was playing next door? We live next to a high school. Me, oh yes. Grocery store lady, I was looking through my phone for something else and found a pic. There is a crock pot on the table. Me, and as the smell of dead animals wafts from under the bed. Grocery store lady, You served chili. That's right, my fellow friends. Apparently we had chili last fall. My menopausal brain doesn't remember, but looks like we have photographic evidence and grocery store lady's memory for what it's worth as she's older than me. I'm considering having her blow it up into a poster and hang it behind the food table. I'm also now 100% texting everyone to show up and ask, maybe I'm texting this to everyone that shows up and asks, why don't we have chili? This is 3 days ago. She says, you aren't going to believe this. We have horses and I just walked into my trainer's house and she's making lunch for the guys. And this is chili in a crock pot with a crock pot liner. So people are out here eating chili. Holly says, I swear the universe is playing with me now. And Jane at the bottom says, the main. I love the universe. We're still on 3 days ago. She says, he just rolled in from dinner with the guys. I'm sitting on the kitchen couch and he sits down at the kitchen counter and says, you aren't going to be happy. Remember last weekend when we mowed? Me? She's just silent. Him. So she's still silent. Him. I thought I'd drive the truck through the yard rather than back down the driveway. Me? She's still silent. Him. And I ran over the solo stove. Me? She's still quiet. Him. But I promise it's okay. And now I have the opportunity to walk off with my wine to admire the walls. So she finally remembered to walk off and admire the walls. Nothing Saintly says, well, the solo stove is no longer a main either, probably. I convinced him to send me the pic I know he's been sending to his friends. He says they fixed it. If I fixed it, he means a new one is showing up tomorrow, I'm good. If he means we took that hammer you see right there and banged the hell out of it, whatever food he comes up with as a main could be his last meal. I hope he's chosen wisely. Holly says, T-9 hours. I'm going to make some coffee and take the dogs out to examine the solo damage. I gave him a list of things to do. This should be good. Mommy RN says, my 76-year-old mom doesn't do social media. I was telling her about Chilligate and she told me I have to update her on the party. Later, my sister called me and asked me to send her the link because she was talking to mom who said, do you know what Threads is? Do you know about the chili party? So now my sister is following too. She says, so I'm quite impressed by the durability of the solo. 0 internal damage. I don't know how they pulled those dents out on the outside. It still looks like it rolled down a hill. Don't get me wrong, but I was expecting much closer to the initial pick. He said, I will never live this down, will I? Me, nope. Especially since now they come in colors and you can inscribe them. So when you order a new one, I want it in blue and it needs to say, chili is a main. All right, so here's the picture of her eggs. She says, okay, I have to share because I'm so excited how this turned out. I boiled the eggs last night, cracked them, and then let them sit in food coloring overnight. I saw it on social media somewhere and it looked cool. I just peeled them and I'm thrilled. Chocolate chip cookie lady is making them fresh. Also, I put the little dog out. Big dog, the one who rolls in dead stuff, disappears after a deer. Charcuterie board lady, who was here early and can't stay, says, oh no. Me, he knows where he lives. Big dog, I'm coming back covered in teeny tiny burrs. And obviously we see the picture of the cookies here. She says, I just peeked outside where we're setting up the food and there are chafing dishes. She says, we are T-minus 70 minutes and there is no food. He says he has to run out. Okay. Then he asks if I'm going to set up a bar. What? No. Not one happy hour with this group has a bar. It's bring your own. Also, see invite. If someone doesn't bring their own, I'm going to point them towards the liquor cabinet and tell them Godspeed. A bar? What is he thinking? Geez. Mission Barbecue was his main of choice. Someone brought cornbread. She goes, for the chili. Him? Do we have cutlery? Me? Do we? Him? I thought someone was bringing some. Me? Did you ask? Him? I'm doing everything. Can you look? Me? I'm going to look at the walls. I love how because of the whole Sherlock conversation that we had a couple of weeks ago, people now have things to say. I like this part where, do we have cutlery? Do we? I thought someone was bringing some. Did you ask? I like this question and answer type of response. I like this. He just pulled in the driveway with firewood from the store. We have piles of wood for the fire pit. Our entire property is almost all woods. Still empty chafing dishes. I don't even know what a chafing dish is, but the chafing dishes are empty. So he got snarky at one point that we didn't have serving tongs. Yes, we do. You'll have to find them. I'm chatting, having wine, setting up the fog machine. Also, barbecue is July around the fire pit, not October. Jessie Jess says, you know what doesn't need serving tongs? Chili. And then Holly says, best comment of the day. I put on the 80s hairband playlist from Amazon. It's a win. He's telling the I ran over the solo story. Apparently, they did indeed use the straps to pull the dents out, and everyone has known for a week. Well, everyone is the men. It does seem to be working correctly. I don't know if that's a good commercial for Solo Stove or his truck that has no damage. So that was all of the day of the party. So yay, it sounds like a good day. Everything came together. Good for her, good for him. They came together, people ate food. Good. So this is the next day. She says, good morning. So at the end of the day, Mr. Mission Barbecue achieved what he was tasked with, get a main. Was he ill prepared for what goes along with that task? Yep. Does he now understand it's not something you throw together at the last minute? Also, yes. Did we all have fun? Yes. This morning he did say, we have a lot of cornbread muffins left over. We do. And we're having them for dinner tonight. He hasn't noticed the ground meat I tossed on the counter to thaw. I absolutely love this story, and I appreciate the lady that made the comment about the fact that she has spent a good chunk of her day reading through the egg lady, and I'm like, give me a lead. What's the name? I will find the stories. So there you have it. We have these really great stories that have some good messages to them. We gotta love that to start the day. Let me know what you think of this one.